Is anything new with anyone? No? Just me? Okay. How to structure a novel. Fast, clear, and dangerous. I'm Gasparac, a human Hyrax Hybrid, and author of Bloody Flesh and Deadly Shadows. Yes, it's dark, romantic, and a little bit murderous. Today I'm giving you a ridiculously simple blueprint to turn that nagging idea into a novel you can actually finish. What you'll be leaving this video with. A 5-part novel spine that you can use today. Scene rules so chapters stop wandering, and a 2-minute plotting challenge. Hook fast. The inciting incident must bang your protagonist's life with the frying pan, personally and painfully. In Bloody Flesh and Deadly Shadows, my main character Cora wakes up in a shallow grave. She can't remember how she got there or where she is. When a cop finds her and tries to help her, something slithers out from the woods, killing the cop just as their backup arrives, making Cora look like the murderer. Moral of the story? Get your character into a high-tension situation ASAP. Make your sting not a polite nudge, but a demand for action. By the quarter mark, your character is going to have to start making some choices, and there can be no half measures. This is a burning bridge moment. If they walk back to safety, your stakes aren't hard enough. Here, my lead learns love can literally kill, changing everything. And it doesn't have just emotional consequences, but physical, the deadly kind. Do what you have to do to your characters, and make the choice costly for them. A promise, a betrayal, a job loss, something that locks that door. The midpoint is supposed to slap the character with new rules. A reveal, a twist, a complication that forces new tactics. You can mirror the inciting incident, but amplified. If the inciting incident was emotional, make the midpoint tactical. Readers should grasp and reframe everything. At about 75% of your novel, everything should have gone nuclear. Not a tiny setback, the worst realistic outcome, or unrealistic depending on your world. Just make it realistic for your novel. I recommend doing this for both the protagonist and the antagonist. This is the fire that forges growth. If it doesn't hurt, the bounce back won't feel earned. All right, let's take a breath. Let's take a look at your outline. Ask, is there a real cost at 25% and annihilation at 75%? You're the only one who can tell. I'm going to say you have what it takes. You're a writer for a reason. Remember, you're not just adding drama or melodrama for drama's sake. You're clarifying the cause and effect from your character's choices. Some choices are good, some are bad, but they all have to have repercussions. Okay, the climax, we all know what happens then, but here's something that your readers are craving. The climax answers the page 1 question. It's as simple as that. I recommend making this point a mirror image of your character's first setback, a setback from earlier chapters. I don't necessarily mean that literally, but frame it the way you did in your opening. It gives the character a sense of closure. The only exception, in my eyes, is if you choose to leave a cliffhanger. No, I'd still do that even with a cliffhanger. That's exactly what I did, didn't I? Anyway, show the new normal, especially if it's deliciously grim. Show the change in the protagonist and how their life has changed course permanently. Alright, so let's break this down one last time. Setup leads to commitment, and commitment leads to midpoint flip leads to darkest hour leads to climax. That's your spine. Now build ribs and flesh out that story skeleton. Let's do some scene level commandments. Goal. What do they want? Or the obstacle? What's in the way? Outcome. How their world changes forever. Remember to raise these stakes every 3 to 5 scenes. Consequences equal reader crack. Okay, I have 3 different plotting systems you can do. You can combine them all. You can use one, put it in a blender and just make your own style. Okay, that's fine too. But here's my recommendation. If you're just starting out, try these. Just see if it works. Index cards or sticky note. Perfect for a visual brain like mine. This method is good if you have to have a visual representation of timelines or sequences of actions. You can color code if things get complicated, because mine do and I need to. You also have beat sheets, which are really great for pacing. And like I mentioned in my last video of 3 writing resources of jamiegold.com, which if you haven't already, I highly suggest you check it out. Free resources. Anyway, they even have genre-specific ones, so that can help you give a roadmap to lay out your story's foundation, because it can change later. So another option is write scenes first. Write scenes you love and then just try to stitch them together, aka the pantser method that gives me anxiety. If I don't have a general idea of where I'm going, I will waste a lot of time. Mine and yours. Now it's time for the 2-minute plotting challenge. Okay, pull out some pens and paper or open a doc. I'm going to need you to write your inciting incident in 1 sentence. Then, write the 1-line midpoint flip. Paste both in the comments and I'll read and reply to as many as I can. Your 2 minutes starts now. If you want to see how I applied these rules, soon you'll be able to reference them with my debut dark paranormal fantasy novel, Bloody Flesh and Deadly Shadows. She's pretty. I love her. She's a little messy, but think modern day Game of Thrones meets American Horror Story. Do not read this if you are head over heels for hockey romance novels. There's no hockey. Same amount of blood on ice, though, ironically. Look, if this helped, just Smash the like button. It tells YouTube to share this with other brilliant disasters like myself. Subscribe for weekly writing-related videos and coffee-fueled advice. Hit the bell unless you prefer sagging middles like a baby's diaper for your project. I don't know what I'm doing.